Tonight on Q2, tumbling into the river, Governor Greg Gianforte surveys the damage today after yesterday's bridge collapse and train derailment. We'll take you back to the scene as recovery efforts are underway. Plus,
I'm Alina Howder. This little pup has been displaced from his animal rescue because of intense flooding in the city of Hardin. We'll tell you more coming up.
And a leap of faith. These high-flying dogs are jumping into the pool at Metro Park, but we'll hear why it means so much more for one woman. The MTN News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Kelsey Merison. Our top story tonight, cleanup efforts are now underway after yesterday's terrifying bridge collapse and train derailment over the Yellowstone River. That derailment, which happened between Columbus and Reed Point, sent several cars tumbling into the water. Today, Montana's governor traveled to the site in order to get a sense of the damage and the recovery efforts ahead. Our Haley Monaco was there and has the story.
I'm here at the Montana rail link train derailment about a mile away from the bridge collapse that Governor Greg Gianforte got to see firsthand on Sunday.
Well, you see this disaster from the highway and it's a oh my moment. Things could have been a lot worse. There was no loss of life. The materials that ended up in the river are not water soluble. The water tests have come back negative. We're going to continue to test that to make sure we preserve the quality of the water in Yellowstone.
Montana Rail Link updated the number of train cars involved in this derailment between Columbus and Reed Point to 17 cars. 10 of those ended up in the Yellowstone River containing either asphalt, molten sulfur, or rock. 2 cars that derailed contained sodium hydrosulfate but were not breached.
They're prioritizing the offloading of those cars first so that threat is completely secure and taken out of the way. And then they'll go into the process of determining exactly how they're going to start removing the rail cars out of the river. What we will say is that this is not a short-term event.
Trains running between Laurel and Great Falls will be rerouted through Shelby, and a time frame of when the rail line will be back up and running is unknown.
We need to make sure our bridges have good integrity. This bridge that failed under this rail car was tested just as recently as May. The rails were tested more recently, according to Montana Rail Link. So safety programs are critical to make sure our infrastructure is strong.
We will have more coverage of this tonight at 10. In Stillwater County, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
A third Montana lawmaker has now received a suspicious letter, this one being Republican House Speaker Matt Regier. That letter, like the other 2, have been handed over to law enforcement for investigation. The letter was delivered to the Capitol several days ago and was stored unopened in House leadership offices. The staff then flagged it as suspicious last night and turned it over to the Montana Highway Patrol. The previous letters were sent to Republican Representatives Neil Durham of Eureka and Rhonda Knutson of Culbertson. This letter had a local return address but was postmarked from Kansas City. The previous envelopes contained white powder, but based on similar situations in Kansas, it is not believed to be harmful. Now to the weather front, where heavy rain pummeled much of the area on Friday. That includes Hardin, where the city saw nearly 4 inches over the last 5 days and sits at a total of 7.5 inches for the month of June. All of that rain spelling trouble for many of the houses and buildings throughout the community, including one animal rescue facility. Tonight, our Alina Howder takes us to Hardin for the latest.
This little pup is just one of a dozen dogs that were displaced after this week's intense flooding and heavy rains in the city of Hardin. One animal rescue's building was flooded out, as well as a bunch of others in the community.
These dogs may be safe and sound right now, but that wasn't the case Saturday.
It just has rained and rained and rained.
Hardin residents Tammy Devers and Chris Schneider take care of 22 dogs through their nonprofit Hamster Boy and Tiger Lily Animal Rescue. But this weekend, they had their hands tied when their building flooded.
So Chris, my daughter, and her husband waded through knee-deep water. Had to carry most of the dogs.
These pups were temporarily displaced here to one of Chris's old mechanic shops after their rescue building's power had to be cut because it was underwater. And it was far from the only building in town that was flooded out.
Last count I heard was approximately 15 to 20 that had water backing up, sewage backing up. Because of the overload in the backflow.
Mayor Joe Purcell says that water from irrigation ditches overflowed into the roads, flooding them out, affecting multiple events like Little Bighorn Days and the PRCA Rodeo.
It was a wet Friday night, and then Saturday night they had to cancel it because the road washed out. So We couldn't get spectators in, we couldn't get livestock out, so everything just kind of shut down.
He said a water main did break around 11 p.m. Saturday night, leaving some homes without water.
At this time, there's probably 5 to 6 homes that are completely out. Some other ones are limited.
But now that the rains have stopped and the sun is shining, Hamster Boy and Tiger Lily Animal Rescue hopes to pick up the pieces with help from the community.
We've lost medications, we've lost vaccines, because that stuff has to be refrigerated. We've lost food. We've lost bedding.
To find out how and where you can donate to the rescue, visit our website at ktvq.com. In Hardin, Alina Howder, MTN News.
And we may not be done with all of those storms. Here's Ed McIntosh as he breaks down what's ahead for this week.
Starting off with the Stockman Bank weather cam, let's take a look at what's happening here as we start getting into the next few days. We're still going to see these hit and miss showers and thunderstorms, although especially around Billings, a little less active for today. But warmer, not hot temperatures. It'll just feel a little more like late spring, early summer. But as we get a little bit closer to the 4th of July, we could trend a little bit differently. Let me show you. This is the Climate Prediction Center outlook as we start getting into the early part of July. We're leaning a little bit wetter than average here through southern Montana and northern Wyoming for the period. But as far as the temperatures go, it's really kind of depending on where you are. From Billings to the west, it's trending a little bit warmer, but we could be looking at some cooler than average temperatures through southeastern Montana. More weather coming up.
Many of us have been dealing with rain, but there's nothing like a little snow in June. And that's exactly what shut down the Beartooth Pass yesterday morning. A fresh coating of snow made for some treacherous travel conditions, causing officials to close it down for a few hours. The pass is now back open, but as always, can be shut down again depending on changing weather conditions. Before heading to break, remember there is still time to get out to Symphony in the Park. The music has already begun on this beautiful night at Pioneer Park, and the Billings Symphony takes the stage at 7. It's in its 51st year. Symphony in the Park is always a fantastic way for families to spend Sunday night, with food, music, and great times all around. The concert is free, and if you do make it down, don't forget to say hi to our own Russ Riesinger, who is once again emceeing the event. Still to come on the MTN 530 News here on Q2. High Flyers. It's a bird, it's a plane, guess again, it's a dog. A unique dog jumping competition wrapped up at Metro Park today. We'll take you there next.
The MTN 530 News continues right after this. .530 News.
75 and sunny. What better way to enjoy that weather than jumping in the pool? And today, it was time for our four-legged best friends to take that leap. A unique dog diving competition was held at Metro Park this weekend, and it all wrapped up this afternoon. The event was a qualifier for regionals, but as our Charlie Kleps reports, for many owners, it means a whole lot more.
Over the past few days, this pool has been stationed at Metro Park with dogs jumping in it as part of a competition that could qualify them for regionals. It's important to many owners, but not nearly as important as the camaraderie they're building with their furry friends. There were diving dogs all weekend at Metro Park. Jump there for Bella, 25 feet. But perhaps no jumps were more meaningful than this one.
It's been a lifeline to me. You latch onto something like this and it just makes it it gives you joy.
As Bella's 70-year-old owner, Heidi Palmer, will tell you, it's a jump that was never supposed to happen.
My late husband brought her home because he wanted a hunting dog, and then he passed away. So this really was his dog.
After her husband passed away in 2017, Palmer began searching for a new home for Bella. Instead, she found something more, a full body of water.
Everybody said, you keep her, do something with her. And I have. And this has just been a lifeline for both of us.
That's when Palmer and Bella got involved with this. Big jump there. Today, she has made more than 80 dives and achieved many awards, all special, but none more meaningful than the relationships Palmer has formed.
Yeah, you travel, you meet people, it's just been wonderful. The people have been so helpful, I just couldn't do it without them.
Eventually, as you get to know the people, it's a small community, so for the most part, there's a lot of camaraderie there.
Fellow dog owner Paula Berglund says the relationships formed are just a part of what makes these unique competitions so enjoyable.
It's just a time to bond with your animal. I've never done it before up until this past year, so I love it more and more each time we go out and do it.
It's a great experience for all owners, but a life-changing one for Palmer.
I learned a lot about grief, And something like this helps you kind of navigate that. The dog gets to do something that she likes, and I've met all these wonderful people, and it's just been a journey.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
The MTN 530 News continues right after this. Storm Tracker weather starts now with meteorologist Ed McIntosh.
And let's start off with the Stockton Bank weather cam for you tonight as we take a look around town. Plenty of sunshine. It warmed up nicely. In fact, we were just shy of the average for this time of the year. And we just haven't said that too much during the month of June. It's been all about the rain. Certainly right now at 6.36 inches of rain. Something worth note that we're in third place for the wettest June on record. Wanted to show you some of the rainfall totals by county. We just picked out some of the higher readings there. You can see where some of them are pretty impressive, where we saw around Rappeljay 6.02 inches of rainfall, just a little over 6 inches of rain from this latest round of storms. Most of the area, we're talking between 2 and 3 inches for the highest accumulations. Pockets of heavy rain will continue to be a big deal here as we get into the coming days. Showers, thunderstorms, most of them are coming off the mountains here this afternoon, a little bit warmer into the plains where most of the readings are in the 70s, 80 right now up towards Jordan, and we'll see the 60s where the clouds and the showers are a little more of a concern closer to the mountain foothills. So here's our satellite radar mix, at least the radar here at this view. We'll back the view up a little bit. We're under the southwesterly flow, so we're continuing to watch these storm systems come up from the southwest, tapping into moisture. Back the view up a little bit and take a look at it nationally. Low pressure area here, a big Texas high, and then this low off the California coast. So this is just like stringing it through and then wrapping that moisture back around. We've talked about the same pattern setting up so much during the month of June, but it's the same thing where we'll see those showers and thunderstorms continue to move in. And with all that moisture we picked up that we just showed you, there's plenty to tap into. So a little warming during the day, and then suddenly these little storms will continue to pop up throughout the next several days, heading right in towards the weekend. So here's this afternoon, a little quieter in the eastern plains, more active in southwest Montana. Heading into tomorrow, pop up those showers and thunderstorms, pockets of a little heavier rain are possible. Tuesday, here we go again, quiets out during the day, and then these pop-up storms as we start getting into the heat of the afternoon. Wednesday, by this point, the computer resolution is a little more widespread here, but this is just giving you an idea of where the storms could develop, which is basically anywhere. And then we go into Thursday, pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Friday, it's a little less active. We start getting into the next weekend, and suddenly we could see a little bit of a break. They're not going to go away, but the persistence and the frequency likely going to back off a bit. Temperatures into the 50s early tomorrow. Isolated showers and thunderstorms into the mountain foothills this evening. Tomorrow, 70s to low 80s for the highs. Going to show that chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Let's take it through the afternoon. It's pretty quiet in the morning. Then those storms start to develop, especially here from roundup southward as we start getting later in the day. And there could be a few late day storms that move into the plains. That's pretty typical. And then Tuesday, a chance of some showers and storms start to develop once again. With the readings Tuesday afternoon, mainly into the 70s for the highs, we will be watching these areas to the east and south of Billings for the possibility of some stronger storms. The big concern during the week is going to be these pockets of heavy rain. We're still not out of the woods as far as some areas of flooding. We're really watching areas around Hardin, the Little Bighorn, and the Bighorn River. Here's what's happening for Livingston County. We'll look for temperatures to be 60s, 70s for the afternoon highs, then trending a little bit warmer heading into next week, next weekend. Miles City and Sheridan will be mainly in the 70s during the week. And that overall outlook as we start getting into the 4th of July weekend is a little bit warmer and drier overall. Day planner for the Billings area tomorrow, look for highs to move up into the mid-70s. Pretty close to average for this time of the year. In the extended outlook, 70s for the highs, showers and thunderstorms until we start getting to next weekend.
Coming up next in sports, a very special anniversary. The longest continuously running golf club turns 100. We'll take a look back at the history behind the Highlands next.
The MTN 530 News continues right after this.
As Highlands Golf Club celebrates its 100th anniversary this summer, we give you a little Highlands history lesson, so to speak. Now, it seemed it was always destined to be a prestigious club. In fact, it was 11-time major winner Walter Hagen who picked out the plot of land that would become Highlands.
Yeah, he was actually here with his business manager looking into the southern Montana, northern Wyoming oil fields that were just at that time kind of popping up, and trying to determine if that was something he wanted to invest in.
According to McNeish's research, the Billings Golf and Country Club, founded in 1914, was the first local golf course, but the land wasn't conducive to long-term growth and an alternative site needed to be identified. The original founders of Highlands purchased over 90 acres, and it was ideal for an 18-hole layout. But the land between roughly 11th and 13th Streets was sold bit by bit during and after World War II. And the original 9-hole grounds atop 43.5 acres are what remain today. A modern clubhouse was erected in 2010 to replace the farmhouse that had expanded through the years.
And then post-World War II, they did kind of a major remodel of the course, changed the layout, added grass greens, things of that nature. And since then, it really has stayed pretty consistent.
The longest tenured member at Highlands is 95-year-old Rockwood Brown Jr. Brown's father, Rockwood Sr., served as the venue's first president in 1922, the year before the first golf clubs were swung. Rockwood Jr., known as Rocky, has been a member there since July 1st of 1965, but has been a special place for him since long before that.
Well, it was a big part of my life growing up and in my family, so it's significant. And to think of my dad, who was the first president, that makes me feel sort of proud too.
Pete Grass, the ironically named certified course superintendent, first started working at the course as a sophomore in high school in 1975, cleaning wooden clubs with Pledge. For the past 48 years, Grass has seen the evolution of the course like few could.
You know, back when I started, there were a lot of older gentlemen that were members, you know, and probably the average age would have been 60-something.
To mark the 100th anniversary of the club, certain landmarks have been added to the grounds. With respect to the course, Grass is proud of the adversity and difficulty it can present with its abundance of trees and narrow fairways. He pointed to the 2 times the annual Montana Cup has been held at Highlands, a rare achievement for a 9-hole course.
Just because of the perception of, well, 9-hole course isn't a real golf course or something by some. It's not true, but it's a perception of some. But we hosted it, and it proved to them that although our course is, I call it short on the scorecard, it has plenty of challenge to it.
The course record is 61, originally set by Bob Meek in the 60s and later matched by current Highlands PGA pro Eddie Caverin in 2011. That said, Highlands still boasts a leisurely feel and has evolved greatly since its founding 100 years ago into the family atmosphere both Brown and Grass spoke of. A place that perhaps even the great Walter Hagen couldn't have envisioned. In Billings, Alec Boffinger, MTN Sports.
The MTN 530 News continues right after this.
Tired of. And before we leave you tonight, I do want to recognize some amazing accomplishments at the station. That's right, yesterday was an award-winning night with the KTVQ News team taking home multiple awards. A special congratulations to our 2 evening anchors. Andrea Lutz took home the Broadcaster of the Year award, and Russ Riesinger won twice. Once for Hard News and the other for Daily News Report. And our entire team taking home hardware as well, winning for Breaking News Story and Best Newscast of the Year. I'm so proud of this team and for all the wonderful accomplishments at last night's Montana Broadcasters Association E.B. Craney Awards. And a big congratulations to our team here. Ed, what's the forecast next week?
Well, that's maybe not award-winning, but we're getting closer. Temperatures will be mainly in the 70s for the highs that will start to warm up a little bit more as we get closer to the 4th of July. But don't rule out those late day showers and thunderstorms. They'll keep coming, and they still have the potential to get some heavier rain into the mix as well. For Billings, also looking at temperatures trying to get a little bit closer to that 80 that's average for this time of the year, and that'll likely happen by this weekend.
Awesome, Ed. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for joining us tonight. Hope to see you back for the 10.